working hard to make a new home for a family in Moldova. It's been part of the mission of the charity, the Moldova Project, for the past 10 years, bringing help and hope to many of the most vulnerable in Europe's poorest nation. And that's not easy when so little is known about the country itself. With Romania to the west and Ukraine to the east, Moldova is a small landlocked country that rarely attracts headlines. Population around 3.5 million. Poverty is extreme, especially in rural communities. Jobs are scarce. Many Moldovans are forced to find work abroad. Abandoned children are placed in orphanages. And this is where the Moldova Project comes in.
The charity began when my sister and I were 17 and we didn't know where to visit. So we decided to go to Moldova because we knew nothing about it, and it really opened our eyes. When we got there, we found that people in remote areas were living in really high levels of poverty. A lot of them were living in really badly broken wooden houses without running water and with very poor infrastructure. So it really didn't feel like part of Europe. The situation for children was particularly shocking because I knew that children were living in orphanages in Moldova, but I'd assumed that they were orphans, whereas when I was there I found that the vast majority are actually not orphans but have been put into orphanages, often because their families can't afford to keep them at home. The children in the orphanages are cared for. They have their basic needs met, but they don't have the individual attention and care that children need.
That was 10 years ago. Staff numbers have risen. 40 families originally helped are now self-sufficient. More villages are becoming involved. Nearly 150 children and their families receive monthly support.
One of the main aims of the charity is to make sure that children can grow up with their family in a safe and comfortable home, because outcomes for children who grow up with a family are so much better than for those who grow up in orphanages, and we don't believe that children who have a family who could provide for them with a bit of support should be living in an orphanage where their needs just can't be met in the same way.
Local people are now involved in the work alongside the foreign volunteers. It's a crucial change that excites Emma Watson.
It's really important that local people lead our work in Moldova because they speak the same language as the families and they really understand the issues that they're facing, and also they can provide long-term and intensive support, which is really difficult to provide when you don't have people on the ground who can visit regularly.
Many challenges remain for the charity, but it's a success story that must continue.
We feel like Moldova is moving in the right direction and our work is having a long-term impact, so we're really hopeful that we can continue to make a big difference to the most vulnerable families.
Please help the most vulnerable families and especially the children of Moldova. You can make a donation by searching for the Moldova Project on Virgin Money Giving. That's uk.virginmoneygiving.com. Thank you.